What's up, guys, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Sinister Files. If you like what you see or hear, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date on all my newest content. My mom, stepdad, sister, brother, and I all moved into this house that was built in 1901 when I was about 7 years old. The house was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, but my parents used the entry living room as their bedroom. I got the bedroom off to the kitchen, and my sister got the bedroom off to the second living room, which was in the middle of the house. It was a weird layout. My brother got the basement. This house had such a bizarre and eerie energy, but at the time I couldn't figure out why, until things started happening. The first experience we ever encountered was that the TV would always just randomly turn on to white noise. The volume was always full blast. We grew accustomed to it since it happened all the time, and we considered it harmless. Eventually, later on, the babysitter didn't even feel comfortable babysitting in our house. She eventually watched the baby at her house. We would always see my sister at night on the baby monitor. She would be talking at all hours of the night, reaching out to something. Things started to get more strange, though. My stepdad worked for the city services, and being in Chicago required him to work nights to plow snow. One night in December, we had gotten a lot of snow, and they called my stepdad into work. My mom had just had my sister a month before, so we're giving her a bath in the sink. We're having a good time until all of a sudden my mom says, "Shh, do you hear that?" We paused for a minute and didn't hear anything. We got back to talking and bathing my sister, and all of a sudden she's like, "That!" The back door was opening and closing aggressively. She swore she had locked the door. Freaked out at this point, my mom has to take my sister and wait in their bedroom in the front of the house. She calls my stepdad, freaking out, so he instantly rushes over from work. When he gets to the house, he instantly goes around back. He explained that there's no footprints in the snow and proceeds to check the basement to see if somebody had broken in. Nothing turned up, and he ended up pushing on the door to see if maybe it could have been wind. At this point, my mom and I are scared out of our wits. She knows that something paranormal is going on, and so do I. Eventually came the fear of my room. Since my room was off to the kitchen, how my TV was positioned, I can see the reflection of the kitchen. Ever since moving in, I could not sleep without a bright light on in my room. When I would shut off my TV, I would frequently see shadows and silhouettes walking throughout the kitchen. I was terrified. I would sleep with my head under the blankets. My mom kind of shrugged it off when I told her, which now, looking back on it, I'm sure that it was just terrifying to her as well, and she was just trying to be brave. One night, I ended up seeing my first actual apparition. I remember something had startled me to wake up. There was a white, hazy mist in a circular-ish form. It was so defined. Scared, I woke up to go tell my parents, but I followed this thing from my room through the kitchen and through the living room. Watched it enter the restroom almost as if whatever it was exploring. At this point, I'm in my parents' room crying and begging my mom to let me sleep with them in their bed because there was a ghost. I asked her to please wake up, and she just said no. They had a pillow on the ground that I just scooted as close to the bed as possible and watched this apparition move throughout the room. This moment changed everything for me when it came to living in that house and believing in ghosts. I truly believe there were a few spirits in that house. My mom ended up doing a little research on the house and found an article stating that a man had committed suicide in the basement in 1913. I'm not sure if this man was the one doing the haunting, because one night I was sleeping over at my neighbor's house and my brother's out-of-state friend was visiting. The next morning, my friend asked my mom why I was standing in front of the fireplace last night. My mom asked him to explain. Evidently, he had gotten up in the middle of the night, walked up the stairs from the basement, and when he entered the living room, he saw a little girl standing in front of the fireplace. He didn't think anything of it because she looked to be my size. My mom explained to him how I was actually at the neighbor's house last night. He ended up actually cutting his trip short and had his mom pick him up a few days later. But with the neighbor's house thing, I never looked at my house from their windows because I was terrified what I would see in the windows. I was truly scared of that house. We actually ended up moving about a year later because my mom knew something was going on in that house. Some other harmless events happened, like things being moved around and stuff, but it was enough to drive us out. I haven't experienced anything like that in my house in my adult life. but these events are always in my mind. I literally got chills writing my experiences.
So thank you for watching another episode of the Sinister Files. Remember to like and subscribe, and to stay up to date on all my newest content, go ahead and turn on the notifications. Thank you for watching.